NFR.
NFR Extra is a podcast dedicated to the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo and features icons and personalities that embody the Western lifestyle.
I hit the barrel because I was trying to keep him from hitting a barrel. So dumb, huh? So after that, I just was like, let him do his job and be there if he needs the help, but stay out of his way. Like, he got you here and he's ready for this. Like, I had to, it's hard for me to give that away, that trust, because I'm the trainer and I forget. And I'm like, he's only 6. I'm like, well, 2 years ago, this one time you did this. And like that, the girl in me, I will not forget when you, that one time.
This is Brylan Bentley, and you're listening to NFR Extra.
We're here with Miss Kassie Mowry, our reigning world champion barrel racer. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's an exciting 2024. Now, tell us about your first NFR and kind of what that's like, because for a barrel racer, there's so much that goes into being prepared and a totally different setup than what you're used to all year long.
My first NFR, it was a very long time ago. It was very hard getting there. It was a hard, long road. I was riding a lot of younger horses with no experience. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a whole lot of help. I didn't know where to go, how to enter. There's a real learning curve in rodeo. And when I got there, I did make it to Vegas barely. It was a very overwhelming experience. I've been on every side of the NFR experience. That rodeo, I actually looked up what was the fine to go home halfway through it, because it was horrible. Like, I could not do anything right. It was embarrassing and it was long, and it can make it a long 10 days when it's not going your way. And it was a long time ago. I've learned a lot since then about competing just in general and being a competitor, and the mind, everything, it's all in your mind. And I've had to learn a lot about the mental aspect of competing, whether it's futurities or the rodeo or whatever. You have to learn how to control your mind. I was so lost that first NFR. I learned a lot, most of what not to do.
Just cleaned it off your plate real quick.
Yeah. That was in 2005, and it was such a hard experience. I never wanted to do it again. I didn't go back until 2019. Yeah. Okay. And so it just, I couldn't handle the pressure of it, and it wasn't a great experience for me, just because I really wanted to do better and show off my horses more than what I was able to, more that than anything.
So during that time, was it a lot of futurities that you were going to? What were you keeping occupied with?
Yeah, I went to futurities. I trained for a ranch, full time, and rodeoed full time. And I mean, I had to go to a lot of rodeos to do it because I wasn't doing things right. And so it just wasn't working, and I'd have to go. I mean, I went to way more than I should have gone. And, my young horses, they would come up sore, or we'd have some setbacks where I'd have to go backwards before I could go forwards again. I'd overwhelm them a little bit, and then I'd have to backtrack and go to some smaller rodeos, reel them back in, just to make it a good experience, to then go to another one where I can, let's really try and see if we can get something done at this one, because we need to get something done because we're 15th, and so, I've been on every side of it, where it was a really, really long 10 days or when it was a great 10 days.
How many horses would you usually bring to the NFR?
I try to keep my options kind of low, because I feel like you can get too many options there, and then you can really fight your head about that too. And so most years I bring 2. I'll have a backup horse, and then we'll have a grand entry horse. So he's always in the trailer, and that basically he's a crucial job there, because he's the buddy horse to the buddy horse.
So no one's ever alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These are the things you learn though that make a big deal.
That you don't know your first NFR.
You really don't know. Yeah.
Which you were saying that was in 2005. So you were 12 when you made your first NFR.
Right?
That's
awesome.
I
was super young.
It was before you had to be over the age of 18.
That's right. No, but in all seriousness, I am fascinated about people who not only compete in rodeo, but also are training horses because I liken it to my wife and I, we have 2 kids. And so all their personalities are different. Their styles are different. So you have to not only match up the personality of the horse, but their ability and what setup is one that is likening to their strengths versus one that's going to fry their brain, right? Because not every horse is going to do well in Thomas and Mack. You know, if you have a long strided, really hard running horse, that's going to be a difficult setup versus one that's a little quicker and collected and can really get around and is super athletic. So talk a little bit about how you try to manage those personalities and let the horse kind of talk to you.
That's my favorite part about training is learning kind of how their thought process works. Some of them, so you're saying about the big horse, my white horse that I run, he's huge. He's 17 hands. He loves the Thomas and Mack and he loves the winter rodeos because they're small pens. I don't know how he does it, but he seems comfortable in those setups. And that is big about learning your horse and what suits their style. I would have never just gone there right away with, oh, Will would love these little fish bowls of a pen. But I threw it at him and he really liked it. But yeah, you learn so much about their personalities, what they can handle, what they can't. And I mean, it takes doing it to figure it out. So it's like you just kind of sometimes have to throw them out there and see how they sink or swim and then make a plan. Do I got to kind of reel this in or what? It is huge because there's so much to be won at the Thomas and Mack. It really works in your favor if you have a horse that's comfortable in that kind of a setup, because you can have a horse that, you know, its style is a big arena like Calgary or ground like something else or deeper ground. And then, you know, there's so much to be won at Vegas. It really worked to my advantage that Jarvis can handle. He really can handle most, which is really rare. That's what makes that horse special for me. I've had really good horses in the past, but they were definitely their strong suit was one over another, outdoor or indoor. Jarvis, so far, if everything I've thrown at that horse, he has just knocked it out of the park. I don't know how he does it, but that's what makes him really special.
How did you 2 come together?
Jarvis, bought him when he was a baby. He was in Oregon. He was just a baby, had a hauler, sent them out, was always wanting to try a goodbye lane. And that was my opportunity at one. And, I had him not 24 hours and he went in for colic surgery.
Oh my God.
It started out rough. Yeah. He was a baby and he had a hernia and it went south after that haul. I didn't realize how bad it was. So yeah, you never know how things are going to work out, but yeah, it started out really scary and rough and could have gone either way.
Well, and how did that work going into like the training aspect of it? Because after colic surgery, you really kind of have to be careful on the uncertainty.
He was young and really it's, there's a lot, nowadays technology, like they have these horses coming back from sports medicine is incredible these days. It's not normally as big of a deal and his had a reason for it to happen. Gotcha. He needed that other surgery and he didn't get it. He needed it sooner. And so it's really not a big thing, but that was the first thing. I literally met him and in 24 hours, he had to go live at my vet clinic for a week because of that. So it started out rough, but through the training, the horse, like he always kind of flew under the radar. That's the thing. He never just is like pizzazz. He's dark. He has no color, no markings. He just kind of flies under the radar. And he did with the colt starter, liked him, didn't love him, but liked him. Never had anything bad to say. Going through the pattern though, when he was getting started, he did everything you asked. He was clumsy and he ended up being a bigger horse, but, it's his stride length he struggled with because, he didn't know how to rate a barrel. And it was like you would get there and Jarvis always has the best of intentions, but his legs didn't always match those intentions. He never got frustrated about it or in a hurry. And I just remember my friend, I would be exhibitioning him as a 3-year-old. We run him when they're 4. And he's like, Jarvis just goes like a half a stride by every barrel every time. Like, what are you going to do about it? And I'm like, nothing. I'm going to let him do it. He's going to figure it out. He just needs to do it and he'll figure it out. It wasn't being bad. And so just little things like that. I know when Jarvis messes up, it's not because he tried to, he just doesn't know. And so, going through the futurities, he started out with a bang. He was very successful futurity colt, placed at every futurity he went to, and ended up a world champion futurity colt. And then just sailed right into the rodeo. Like he's truly a special animal.
Was there a run that you made? Obviously you just said he was a world champion for futurity colt, but was there one of those runs where you're like, oh, wow, oh, okay, this is different?
Like I have the winner.
Yeah. I mean, well, his first run out of the gate, he was entered in a slot race. And those are big. The entry fee is $5,000. First run out of all these colts in their career, it's huge. And it pays $100,000 to win. He won second.
Wow.
So he started out with a bang, and it's a lot of confidence building to get them to that point. Like a lot of slow work, a lot of you can do this. And then you literally just like let him, I just like, okay, let's see, just go do it. Let's see what you are. And some of them, I always feel like people are always like, how do you know when one is great? I don't. I really don't. I've had some really break my heart. Some that went through the training so well, and I thought, man, I really have the next thing. And they never really did live up to it. And I always tell people I don't know until they hear their name called. And I mean that with the announcer, because they announce the horse's name is at those events. Until that horse hears its name called, it's all up in the air. And so I kind of go into that slot race with that kind of mentality of we did everything we could to prepare for this and just see how it goes. In either way, we'll adjust. Barrel racing is all about just making adjustments through the process. And when they go out there and just go out there and handle it like he did, it's exciting, because then right there you're like, well, he has the ability. Right there, he just proved he had the ability, and he didn't back down from it or get scared or nervous. Some of them do, and then they kind of run timid, or they won't run to their most capable ability. But Jarvis was comfortable with it. He struggled through his futurity year as we had clumsy moments still, and I've had to go through, and I've learned a lot about traction with him and shoeing him differently. I don't have these shoes on him. I don't have on any horse, and I've never used on any other horse, but he's a big horse, and he makes really powerful moves. And the struggle with him was he would like slip or trip. And he's just kind of a big clown. So it got scary sometimes, but he was always trying hard.
Do you ever do like other activities? I sound like Napoleon Dynamite. Do you ever have your horses in training do something different? Because we've talked to other people who are like,
they have to.
I get mad at one. You're going to the Brandon pen. You're
Right.
going to team rope. You're going to do something else because I'm
Sorting
mad at you.
things.
You're mad at me. We need different people right now.
This is what the beauty of horse training is. Everybody can get there a different way. There's so many different ways to do it. I do not do that.
Okay.
I would love, I can see the benefit to a lot of those things. Sometimes they need saddle pads. They just need to chill. They need to just be a little bit tired. Sometimes it helps them to go learn how to rope and rate a steer and feel that pressure doing something other than barrel racing. And I totally get it. I just don't have the access to it. I can't swing a rope and I don't have cows. And so I have to get there a different way. And so I get there by consistency. I try to keep things really consistent with my program, and just building confidence. It takes a long time, and I don't mind the going backwards. If something's not going right, I don't make a big deal out of anything with them. I just kind of let them fumble through it. And then I feel like I have a more willing horse in the end. They don't get uptight about things. They don't get upset when they feel like it's not going right. They're not scared that they're going to get in trouble. It's just like, figure it out, and some of them thrive with that and some of them don't. And some of those horses, because of that, are better suited for someone else's program. And that happens a lot. I've had horses that I started and I'm like, this horse isn't a fit for my program, and that's fine. So I'll try to get it where it needs to go to be the best it can be. But yeah, a lot of people get their different ways.
Let's take a quick pause, and we'll be right back.
Las Vegas becomes the center of the Western universe every December with the return of the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. And, of course, Cowboy Christmas presented by Pro Fantasy Rodeo. It's the perfect way to spend your day with family and friends. There's endless shopping, entertainment on the Ariat Rodeo live stage, the Yeti Junior NFR, contestant autograph sessions, and all-day fun. There's so much and more in Las Vegas. Cowboy Christmas, presented by Pro Fantasy Rodeo. It's all here.
Do you have a few like bloodlines right now that you're really just interested in just because of that training program? Like these are those 3 or 4 that work for me.
Yeah, I've trained a lot of different bloodlines now. It's kind of the same 3 or 4 at my place because I've learned so much about the horse's dispositions and how to use that to your advantage in the training. I like a horse I love a big dumb gelding, and the ones that just kind of are like happy to be there. And that's Jarvis and Emmett and Will. Like they just little bits each day. I like little bits of progress if I can each day. Sometimes those mares can be aggressive, maybe try to outthink you a little bit. But on the flip side, they're aggressive in a good way. When things are going hard, you can't beat a good mare. That's when they rise up. So like they all have pros and cons to it. I just know I like those geldings. I like the slow route. I like the even kind of, and it's not 100%. But with that, certain bloodlines, the disposition follows the bloodlines. And so I've learned what kind of a disposition like suits my program.
So take us through your 2024 NFR, because it kind of seemed like once you got the ball rolling, I mean, there was obviously a little bit of punching back and forth, but you felt like that whole 10 days, it was just like, man, this lady's on a mission.
It might have seemed that way. I don't know. I don't have that like aggressiveness. This is why I rodeo, because it helps me get out of trainer mode. And I do that to a fault. And I do it to Jarvis. And so, I mean, I went out there round 1, just hit a barrel right over round 1. Like, so dumb. I was thinking, why did I do that? That was horrible. So I had to go back to the trailer and literally really say, hey, because I was really disappointed. I was like, I'm failing my horse. This horse doesn't hit barrels. And I just did it. I mean, I didn't want to get into that spiral. And so I just kind of had a talk with myself, and I'm like, had great advice. And I was told it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I'm like, there's 9 more rounds and a lot can happen. Like, pull it together. You still can. And so I really did try that whole mental aspect. I really did try to pull myself together and be there for my horse and not override him. I hit the barrel because I was trying to keep him from hitting a barrel. So dumb, huh? So after that, I just was like, let him do his job and be there if he needs the help, but stay out of his way. Like, he got you here and he's ready for this. Like, it's hard for me to give that away, that trust, because I'm the trainer and I forget. And I'm like, he's only 6. I'm like, well, 2 years ago, this one time you did this. And like that, the girl in me, I will not forget that one time. And so I really did have to try to shut my brain down and kind of let it happen. And when Jarvis, the one other really good thing about him is when he gets in a rhythm, he's hard to beat. Like, he likes these tournament rodeos because I feel like he gets warmed up to an arena and he just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And I get more confident with him because I start trusting him more, and then I'll start throwing more at him. Like, okay, well, let's go harder, and I'll give more to him, and it works out better that way. Where he struggles is when he hasn't ran in a while, and I give him a break and get back on him. But it's crucial. They need that downtime, and I don't ever regret giving it to him. But sometimes we start out a little slow, and that would be how I started out this NFR. But it's long enough. We got that ship turned around.
Well, and I think the unique spot, you take the Thomas and Mack in its own, right? Like, you're coming in blind as you could be. You really don't know. So in the scenario where that horse gets stronger, like, they're getting that arena figured out just as much as you are. And it's a whole new experience every year, no matter if you've been there before. It's like, okay, we're going in, we're barreling down this tunnel. Like, here we come.
Yeah. And keeping them backed off and listening to you. Because like you said, it is a long tunnel. It's blind to the first barrel. It's bright and it is so loud in there. And so they can get ahead of themselves. And the thing about the barrel racing, like, things happen so quick. And the barrel racing is it's all about angles. Getting to that first barrel, if you get just a little bit up the fence, you're going to hit it on the backside. Like, it just everything, like, especially a big, long strided horse, they're hard to gauge because those strides are so big. They can't get out of a problem as quick as like something that's kind of cattier and smaller and shorter strided. So for me with him, that was a really big thing, was keeping him with me in the alleyway, breaking at the right spot, not too soon, and not in the wrong way, like through my hands, because I felt like then when I got to the barrel, he would still feel heavy and I wouldn't be able to help him through things. And so we did a lot of work and practice. Every other morning we get practice, and it wasn't the barrels, it was the alleyway, and hey, stay with me. Let me help you get through this alleyway so we can get a good start, because that's everything. But yeah, once he gets tapped off, he's hard because Jarvis is a very consistent in everything he does. Like I won't say dumb, because how do you say that? He's very simple-minded.
He's a gelding.
He's that.
He's got that good gelding.
That good gelding quality.
It really is. That's like when you have that good gelding rope horse, like it really comes into play there. Like when they are consistent and they're mellow and you can just hold their hand and just go with them, it's a whole different unique feeling than, I mean, we talked about a mare earlier. They're going to have that aggression.
But I'm the only gelding in the room right now, so you guys just need to choose your words.
But you're always dependable. That's what we just said.
Okay. And I have a dad bod.
Dependable one.
So you're going through. So you hit barrel one. You have the self-talk, and while Jarvis is in the stall, it's just
eating his hay.
Right, that's right. He's like, I don't even know what she's talking about. But as you go through the week and you start collecting some checks, do you look at statistics at all, or are you just like, no, I'm just going to go make my run and that's it?
Yeah, so I have a bad memory, but like it wasn't going bad. I was second. Haley was like dominating right there, right out of the bat. I mean, she was like winning round after round after round, and I'm just thinking to myself, we're not far off. Like, we're not far off, and we're still like, he's young, so like he's still making little bobbles here and there, and I'm like, I really think I can get him there. Like the times that I'm like, we're not that far off.
Yeah.
And so that was my big thing, was just to stay positive and keep building on what like we had. Cause I was like, he can do this. I know he can do it. When he hit that round, the first barrel, it was to win the round, and he didn't do it in a shortcut kind of a way. So right then I was like, the things you tell yourself, he can do this. He can really clock in here. He won rounds the year before, and here I am still questioning that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just never that confident. I'm not like that. I'm always like, well, it's another year, and who knows? He's been to more rodeos. The thought always crosses my mind, when you run these horses at these rodeos, different ground, different setups, they learn how to like safety up and take care of themselves, and that is a thing. And so I was worried about that too. Can he still run those kind of times that he did the year before? So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe now he's too careful. You don't know. You don't know. And so he did start clocking right off the back, and that took that pressure off me. And I just thought, just let it happen. Don't override your horse, obviously, because you already messed this up once.
And I feel like from there, you kind of just got that like steady, like you just kept chipping away at
kind of a rhythm. Like you're like in a rhythm.
Oh, hey,
that.
She's coming up. Like round 7 comes around, and we're all like, hey, there's a race. We're running this off until the final round.
Yeah. It got exciting.
Does that get you into a different perspective at all, or were you just kind of staying on the outskirt for that?
No, I did not get into how the results really were. I never really do. I know the horses are like that's like my number one, is doing my horses justice. Like I just want to show them to the world, and I love them so much, and I want other people to like know about them. And it's a big thing to me. And I'm like, he's so special, and I just want the world to recognize him. And so really just being there for him, and that helps take the pressure off of me. Right. And just doing things like throughout the day, spent a lot of time with them in the stalls, and just kind of out of like the social media, out of the lights, camera action, out of the, going to the signings where everybody's pulling you aside. That's what gets me nervous, when I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like these little fangirls, and I don't know, that's where I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes it like kind of too big for me to handle then. So it just helps me to go back to the horses, hang out with them, stayed rested up. I always get sick when I come here. And so that was a big thing, was staying healthy for me, stay out of the casinos. I stayed somewhere that was a little more low key, less going on, just little things like from the first NFR to this one, a lot of different adjustments that I've made. And I did feel last year, more comfortable just in general, like where my horses were staying, where I was staying, helping me, like all the things. I just felt like more comfortable and more relaxed just in general.
All right. So going into round 10, you're not looking at the world standings. You're not looking at any of that.
So everybody's buzzing about it. I feel like it was like first or second. Like there was a really good chance I was leaving there first or second, which was way better than I ever in my life dreamed of or thought I could. So already I was ahead. Like I didn't have that pressure because I'm like, we already did like way better than I ever thought I could do. He won 5 rounds.
We proved our point.
Yeah. I'm like, the people know Jarvis. All that pressure was off me. And it was just like, go have fun. Like everybody, what I loved was so many people were like, the barrel racing was our favorite event of the whole rodeo this year. Like so many people would send me pictures or videos of like their little, NFR party and everybody screaming, running barrels. And it's so exciting. And everybody loves a horse race. And I do too. And I'm back there fangirling all the other girls' horses too. Like it's a treat for me to see the different, how they get their horse prepared. What do they do? I learn a lot from these girls that are back there. And so the whole experience was fun. I tried not to make it more than it was. I already exceeded my expectations. So I didn't want to add to that. And was just like, this is going good. Don't overthink it and just be ready. Like, be ready for if your horse feels like laying one down, don't get in his way.
So you turn barrel 3 and you're crossing the line.
It didn't start out, run 10 did not start out how I wanted it. I finally had like the best draw. I think I was first out. Perfect canvas. My horse goes in there and like kind of trips going into the first barrel, like that thing he does sometimes. Just trips over his own feet. And so it got our whole timing off. He had to take another step to get around it and not come back through it, which sent us wide going to the second barrel. We're coming back from like the timer line to the second barrel. Like it just was a terrible angle. And so I had to make him take another step to get around that barrel to not hit it. But I feel like that's where Jarvis, he literally like I was like, I need a clean run for sure. I mean,
right.
And we'll just see how it goes. But after I turned that second barrel, I swear he was like, we're taking too much time in this arena. And he cut that third barrel so close, and he never does that. He only turns like when I kind of tell him to. He took initiative there, and we rimmed that third barrel and rocked it and was out of there so fast. And it was like, he just knew. He was like, we got to get out of here. Like, we're taking too much time.
Come on, lady. Come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But in my mind, I'm like, keep the barrels up because, I'd already hit. Yeah, I was already out on that average, real low. So, and I had just hit on round, was it 8? I hit 2 barrels. And so I was already like, that's not going to get me where I hit with these +5s.
Right.
So it was big for me to keep the barrels up, and Jarvis just rocked that one just enough that it didn't go down, but he did take some initiative there and he got us out of that arena.
So you're at the top
but he
of the
still
ground.
was second in that round.
And then you go out the tunnel, and then you have to do the sit and wait.
Mm-hmm.
What is going through your head during that? Because you were just sitting at the top of the tunnel like,
yeah,
are they running me down this thing?
Yeah.
Did it happen? Is it real? Like, especially being the second to last event, like you're about to be handed a buckle dang near to get on stage.
Yeah, or walking your horse back.
Right. Like
I there was so much going on. My friends were back there. I mean, I couldn't see what was going on. You can't really hear. Everybody's crowded around the little TV screen in the back. And so, I mean, I really didn't know a whole lot going on, which was probably good. But like I said, I was just excited to finish that strong. The horse never had worse than a second place finish in 10 rounds. Impressive. And when he hit, he had the fastest times. The horse never had worse than a like, that's how incredible. I was just that proud of him. I left there that proud of him. That was all I was thinking when that ended. Like, this thing is incredible, what he just did.
So what are y'all's plans this year? I mean, obviously you've gotten off to another good start. Mm-hmm. So does that change your schedule?
Not really. Yeah, he's definitely made things easier on himself by doing very well at the right rodeos. But no, it doesn't. I go to the same rodeos every year. I go there. I mean, everyone's like kind of big on my rodeo count. It's the same pretty much every year. It's the best I can do. I mean, I can't be gone. I have a full training schedule. When I'm on the road and off those horses, they punish me when I come back.
Yep.
I mean, I have to start over on them. And when I leave, nobody's riding them. They're sitting in a pasture pen the whole time. So, I mean, it really is tough, doing both, but same, just plan on going to the same rodeos. What is different though now? I have Emmett, which everybody kind of forgot. Jarvis, so I went to the NFR the last couple years on 2 other horses. Will, my big gray horse, and Emmett, the little famous ladies man, that one Calgary. He's my summer rodeo horse. So both those horses basically work a half a year, and they're a great compatible team. Will loves those indoor little rodeos, and Emmett thrives in those big outside pens. I don't take one with the other. They're never in the same trailer together. Well, Jarvis just came in here and took both their jobs.
Well, I got this. Step aside, boys.
Came in and was like,
hold my beer.
Both their jobs. So, what's fun about this is, like now I can kind of pick and choose where I go. Will and Emmett are 10-year-olds. I've never in my life had a 10-year-old barrel horse. I'm a horse trainer. They would go home after I futuritied them. They're 5. They go home. A couple of them I got to keep a year or 2 extra. They all were going to go home. I've never had them this old. And so I'm like, what is it like I like having some 10-year-old barrel horses.
Sure.
Like they're so much easier. Like Will's so much easier he's very emotional for a big guy and timid.
They usually are.
And I can talk him in and out of things so much easier now. His little meltdowns, like when someone leaves the trailer, it's over little things, but like when his friend leaves, but I'm like, he's easier to reason with now, which is different. But it's fun now that I've got a couple years on these horses where, I mean, a lot of these horses I'm running against have been rodeoing for how many times have they been to the NFR and what it took to get there, which is incredible. But this is fun now, actually feeling like I know a little bit more about the setup. My horse did here good last year. That's the one I'm going to take. There was several I went to that I took the wrong horse after the fact. I took the wrong horse. Now it's kind of nice to know those things. It's that little bit extra. And I feel like that's why Jarvis is sitting there with that much money won this year. Like I took him to the right ones. Will won San Angelo for me. That he won it the last time I took him there. Like it's fun to see them coming together and turning into consistent horses that you can count on and not just colts where I feel like I'm winging it, putting a lot of work in before the rodeo starts. If they'll let us in the arena, I'm in there. Now I don't feel like I have to do that. It's like they're comfortable with it. They're like grown up. And so I'm getting famous ladies man, my little Emmett horse. He's getting in shape. Plan on taking him with me this summer, and that'll be nice to have him to help Jarvis out. But he's the one that's always got me to the NFR, so he's a good option as well. And he would be mad if I ever took that from him. Everybody forgot about him. I'm like, he's funny.
Well, I look forward to watching you this summer and seeing you back at the Thomas and Mack this year. We thank you.
Thank you.
Want to experience more of the NFR? Then visit nfrexperience.com, and we invite you to subscribe to NFR Extra on Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you're listening right now. If you like what you've heard on NFR Extra, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe.